Good morning, Chemistry 2, 5th hour. This is Miss Morris, and today we are going to be learning about oxidation numbers. What are oxidation numbers? Oxidation numbers are also called oxidation state. The total number of electrons that an ion either gains or loses in order to form a chemical bond with another atom. Okay? Now, we have our formulas here, and we are going to perform looking for the oxidation numbers. That will give us the right chemical formula that would be able to allow us to mix chemicals properly. For example, last week when I showed you all that we took the right measurement of nitrogen and the right measurement of the copper metal and placed it into the nitrogen, that way the right amount of copper was able to pull the silver from the nitrogen. But if we didn't do the math right, then the nitrogen would not have turned blue, because nitrogen is blue. The nitrogen wouldn't have turned blue, or the copper would not have been able to pull the silver from the nitrogen, okay? So we're gonna show you today how to find oxidation numbers so that you can do math properly when it comes to measurements and how you do chemical reactions, okay? So these two are called pure element ions that will equal to 0. So for example, these two. These are the two we're gonna work on today. And these are pure element ions that equal to 0, okay? So here we go. We're gonna start with the first one, SO. Okay? So, in the rules, it states that oxygen will always equal to, if you all can see that, oxygen will always equal to unless it is mixed with a peroxide. And a peroxide formula looks something like this. That is a peroxide formula, H2O2, okay? So, no fear to try to figure out what it is, because we're not gonna teach that right now, okay? So right now we have pure element ions right here, and they both equal to 0. So let's put them here. Okay, we're gonna do the first one. So we have to find the oxidation numbers. So oxidation numbers will go into the parentheses. Oxidation numbers are also the answer to the question, okay? This is how you'll understand. -2 is for oxygen, correct? Now we have to go on our periodic table, go to sulfur, and find what charge, which we would find all our charges, our ion charges, on the right-hand corner of the periodic table, okay? Make sure when you're typing into Google, you type in periodic table with oxidation numbers, okay? So we're gonna go to sulfur, and it is in row 16, number 2, or in row 3, so 16, 3, okay, going across. Sulfur has +6, +4, +2, and -2. Well, we already have -2. So what -2 equals 0? Well, if sulfur has +6, +4, +2, -2, we already have a -2 here. 2 minus 2 equals 0. So that +2 that you found now goes up here. And down here. But this is the answer, okay? We're gonna go right over here and do the same thing. But this time, we have a subscript. This is how you handle subscripts, okay? Again, oxygen is connected to sulfur and not a peroxide, so it'll be -2. -2 times 2 equals -4. Okay? Go to sulfur. What minus 4 equals 0? +4. And that is how you find the oxidation numbers for a pure element ion. Now, we're gonna look on your homework sheet again that you guys have from last week. And we're gonna now work on some polyatomic ions. Don't sweat, it's easy. Here we are. Now, these are called polyatomic ion charges. These charges must sum up to the ion charge. This is the ion charge. So it must equal to that. Let me make sure that question's right. Yep, they both have 2. Okay, they must equal to this, to the polyatomic. So we're gonna bring the polyatomics down. Watch the tone, I'm recording. Okay, so they must equal both to -2. They must equal to that, okay? This is how we find oxidation numbers for a polyatomic ion charge. We're gonna start here. Again, oxygen is not connected to peroxide, so it'll be -2. -2 times 3 equals -6. Okay. What on the periodic table for sulfur subtracts 6 and equals to -2? Well, we're gonna go to sulfur and we're gonna say +6? Probably not. 6 and 6 is 0, right? Okay. 4 minus 6 sounds about right. This is why. So if we put a +4 here and we put these down here, or we just make it all negative because it's all -6s. If we take 4 positives and bring them to the 6, how many negatives are left? 2. So that's how you know your answer is correct. So we're going to take this answer because we found the oxidation number that would allow us to do the math correctly so that we can mix chemicals, okay? Now we're gonna go to this one here. Same system, very easy. Again, we're bringing the charge down here to equal -2 is the oxidation number for oxygen always, unless it is mixed with peroxide. -2 times 4 equals -8. So now we go back to the periodic table again. What number subtracted from 8 equals 2? Let's take a look. So we have +6, +4, +2. Well, it's 6, right? Let's show you why. If we have 8 negatives and 6 positives, say, hey, let me go ahead and give you 6 positives, your answer is correct because you still have 2 negatives left. So you're gonna bring the 6 up here. And put it in your parentheses. This is your answer. This is the answer. Okay? All right. Alrighty, so with that being said, I hope you have a great understanding of oxidation numbers. If you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to email me. You guys should be able to handle just this beginning part. I'm sure you can do it. Another thing that would be good for you when you're doing this homework assignment, let's get into part 2. Let's get into part 2. Determine the oxidation number of the sulfur atom. So this is part 2. So, okay. So, hydrogen is always with a non-metal. With a non-metal, it's a +1. With a metal, it's a -1. Hey, so hydrogen is with a non-metal. So it's going to be +1, okay? +1 times 2 equals +2. Now, what, or should I say, what number can we get to equal to 0 if this is a pure element ion? We go to sulfur, we see +6, +4, +2, and -2. We need it to equal to 0, so it'll be -2. So the answer for sulfur that we're looking for is -2. Okay? So let's go to this really hard one. Let's go to this C. But I know we can do it. We can accomplish it. So again, we are looking for the oxidation number for sulfur, but we must complete the math so that it can equal to 0. So, of course, we already know that hydrogen is mixed with 2 nonmetals. So it's going to be a +1. +1 times 2 equals +2. This right here, always a negative 2. So negative 2 times 4 is a negative 8. Uh-oh. Looking a little tough, but we got it. Okay, so what minus this would equal 0? Let's see. Would it be positive 6? Because positive 2 plus 6 equals positive 8. Minus 8 equals 0. So that's the right answer. So we're going to bring that 8 up here. The 6. We got to bring the 6. So this is your answer. The 1, the 6, and the 2. Okay? And that's how you do it. So again, if you guys have any questions, if you guys feel like you don't understand and you need a little more help, please give us an email, give us a call. We can set up a Zoom meeting just to walk you through it, okay? And with that being said, my name is Miss Morris. I am from CPA, 2021-2022 chemistry teacher. I am out. Peace, love, and hair grease.